ago? Throw that into the comments. Let me know if you were part of that event and if you got some value from that event. We're going to talk about these 4 areas, these areas of how do you break through the mental game? How do you reprogram your mind for success? Because I'll tell you the name of the game. You hear people talking sports, and Pete, you probably heard this too, because you like sport. They say it's 90% mental. Once you get the fundamentals, 90% mental. And I used to be really frustrated with that when people would tell me it's 90% mental inside of network marketing, because I didn't have the basic skills. So skills helped me to work towards the mental game. But if you don't figure the mental game out, you will sabotage every effort that you make towards success. Let me just say, starting off, most of you know what you could do and what you should do, and you find yourself doing this instead. And you can't figure, why can't I close that gap? There must be something wrong with me. I sat in that expectation gap between what you could and should do. You're capable, but you can't seem to get yourself to do it. It's so frustrating. It's like, if you ever see that movie, Field of Dreams, when Kevin Costner goes to see Moonlight Graham in the little town and he finds the old doctor, and the old doctor talks about his dream of playing in the majors. And I always remember one quote. He said, "It's like coming this close to my dream and having it walk by like a stranger." And that's how I felt for my first several years in my network marketing experience. I watched other people have success. I wasn't having it. I watched other people have breakthroughs that I wasn't having. And until I finally faced the transformation that needed to happen in me, I was stuck. But once I did face it, I got unstuck really fast and everything changed. My first 3.5 years was frustration. My second 3.5 years, I went to $1 million a year in income. So what this conversation is about, and I'm glad that you're here on a New Year's Eve around the world, different time zones, to talk about what can we do to help you have a breakthrough. And the first area that we're going to focus on today is how to gain confidence. Gaining confidence. And here's why confidence is such a big deal. If you gain confidence, guess what you're going to do? You're going to take more action. If you take more action, guess what you're going to do? You're going to get more results. And if you get more results, guess what's going to happen? You're going to actually gain even more confidence. And it's a virtuous cycle. So I'll give you a couple quick tips on how to gain confidence. And then one of the greatest experts in the world you're going to hear from in a moment. And for those of you who are really ready, if you're ready for a transformation in your life, if you're hungry for transformation in your life, I'd like you to put into the comments, "I'm ready. I'm ready. This is my time. This is my life. I'm ready to do it. I'm not going to let other things get in the way. This is my year. This is not a resolution. This is a commitment. This is not a hope and a dream. This is determination." And if you're not typing "I'm ready," I would just tell you, maybe you're a tourist in network marketing. You don't even know it. If you can't even type the words, you're going to sit back like a tourist. There's only so far you're going to go. Part of gaining confidence is taking action, even if it's uncomfortable action. Even if typing those words in is a little bit uncomfortable, that's the first step to starting to gain some confidence to tell the world, okay? So I will tell you, I was the least confident person you'll ever know when I joined network marketing. I had no belief in myself. I had no skills to speak of. I had 18 jobs prior to starting my network marketing career at age 23. So how much confidence could I have? I had barely escaped high school. I had nothing to hang my confidence hat on. In sports, I was mediocre at everything. I had nothing I was great at other than bullshitting. I was really good at bullshitting. I was really good at telling my teachers it wasn't my fault that the homework was late. I was really good at, bullshitting my way through life. That was about the only thing I was good at, that and starting over. And I want you to think about anything that you're confident in right now. What's one thing that you're confident in doing right now? Put that into the comments. What's one thing you're confident doing? Put it into the comments. It's going fast. So speaking, prayer, cooking, wow, singing, public speaking, teaching, selling. Now, that's one question. Second question, what caused you to be confident? What caused you to be confident was you had enough interest and passion to get started when you didn't look very good at doing it. Number two, you practiced. If you're a good singer, you practice. You sing all the time. If you're a good teacher, you practiced in order to become a good teacher. You weren't a good teacher the first day. So number one, you had some passion to get started and be willing to do it and maybe be embarrassed, learn. Two, you're willing to do it to get better. You're willing to practice. And three, you probably got some feedback. Hey, you're a pretty good singer. And that made you feel a little bit better. Hey, you're pretty good, at public speaking. Hey, you're a pretty good teacher. Whatever that happens to be for you, started to get some feedback, and that started to build you up, and it made you want to go practice some more. So that simple process was one part of gaining confidence. The other part for me was learning. The more I learned, because I lacked confidence in network marketing. I lacked confidence in my company. I lacked confidence in my upline. I lacked confidence in my product. I lacked confidence in myself. So the more I learned, the more my educational kind of aptitude rose, the more confident I became in the thing that I was involved in. The other thing that helped me with my confidence was realizing that it's very difficult to get better and look good at the same time. Somebody told me that once. You can't get better and look good at the same time. So be willing to be a little bit messy. Be willing to do it when it's not perfect. Be willing to do it when you're not 100% prepared, and then just deal with it. Handle it. Don't treat yourself so seriously. That built me confidence, and I'll tell you why it built me confidence. I talked about it during GoPro a little bit more in depth, but knowing without having a lot of knowledge or skill or ability, I could walk into any situation and manage and just say, you know what? I don't know the answer to that question, but we could figure it out together. Well, somebody else would just fall apart if they didn't have the answer to the question. I just admitted I didn't have it. I don't have it. I don't know, but let's go figure it out. So I learned how to just put myself in situations where I didn't have all the answers and be okay with it, knowing that I could be resourceful enough to go get it. So those are some quick tips on how to start to build some confidence in you. If I would wave a magic wand and for 2021, you would enter with a plan to gain confidence, and by the end of 2021, you were unstoppable. That would be my wish for you, that you could become unstoppable, that nobody could knock you off your confidence game. Nobody could cause you to play small. Nobody could whisper in your ear and have you doubting yourself, because you got this. And that can happen for you. If you have a plan and you commit to that plan, you get some coaching, and at the end of this year, it can change everything. So Pete, I know we have a little clip to be able to show some people, to give them a little bit more perspective on this.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, Eric. This is the first time, I guess, anything from Virtual GoPro is public, and we just took some of the best clips. And so we were going to kick it off with Dean Graziosi, who spoke about confidence. So we got a short little sweet clip, some of the best of what they had to say at GoPro. So here's what Dean had to say about confidence, Eric.
It's coming.
Do you know what the most costly advice in the world is? You could say it in the chat. It's bad advice. It's your mom, who is so amazing and loves you dearly, giving you information about this business. Or your cousin who's telling you network marketing doesn't work, or that company's no. If they have no point of reference, then they shouldn't be giving you advice. But here's the one that most people mess up. You can't even listen to somebody who tried and failed, thinking they'll give you the advice on what not to do. Here's a little secret. They only know how to do it wrong. So they're going to be looking through the lens of, oh, I tried that business. Oh, that shit sucks. I talked to 3 people. They said, no, I was out. Well, I'm not you. 20 million people try to do New York Times bestseller. And everybody tried to talk me out of my first book. I swear on my life, with no exaggeration, I was an inch over the keyboard to delete my first book because my editor said it was horrible and it wasn't really a book. It was a 250-page story. She said, you can break some rules when you write a book. You broke everyone. She said, that's 250 pages of a conversation. Dean, it's not a book. You don't need an editor. You need a writer. Start over. Literally, in the politest way, she said that to me. I went home going, you dumb bastard. Excuse my language. You weren't that good in school. You didn't take writing. Writing books is for smart people. You're not that smart. I literally had my finger over the delete button on my old IBM Mac. This is 12 years ago. Remember the MacBook Pros? They were big, thick, clunky things. They'd be like an anchor for a boat now. I literally had my finger over and almost deleted it. And then I decided not to. And I asked another editor just to clean it up, to make it, I'm just being honest. I was like, make it so I don't look really dumb. They cleaned it up. I put that book out 12 years ago, and in 2 weeks, you know what happened? It hit the New York Times bestseller list. They were wrong. They don't make statues of critics. They make statues of the crazy people, the ones that take uncomfortable, courageous, confident action. So, negative people, they're not really negative in some places. If somebody giving you negative advice would never say, I'm giving my sister Crystal negative advice. No, they think they're protecting you. They're saving you from failure. They're saving you from hurt. They're saving you to make sure you're not let down. Simultaneously, when they're doing that, they're cumulatively adding, because you watch the news, you had a little rejection. Now your mom, your sister, your brother are telling you, and all of a sudden it's building up, and you are on the threshold of going down the road of lack of confidence and saying, this isn't for me. And then what are you doing in 2 years from now? 2 years from now, you're fed up with what you're doing and you're looking for the next opportunity. How long do you want to go searching for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing? None of it's going to work till you shift this and find the confidence. So negative people, you have to find a way to be Teflon. You have to find a way to put a shield up. And some of these people that are negative in your life could be sitting right next to you in the next room. You might be married to one. That's okay. You don't have to divorce them or hate them or kick them out the door. Just find a way to divert their negative conversations. I have one friend, it's literally 40 years we've been friends. Loves to tell me what's not working. I used to try to not argue. I wanted to show him a different way. And I realized he doesn't want to change, and that's okay. So all I do with him, I figured it out. Whenever he brings something up, I just bring up the past, because he loves the good old days. Screw the good old days. I'm looking for the good new days that have yet to come. Who wants next year better than last year? Right? Screw yesterday. You can't go forward looking in your rearview mirror. You get in an accident. Right? But with him, I don't want to hear his shit. Excuse my language, but you know what I do? I'm like, oh my God, remember in high school that time we skipped school and went to the mountain? That's all I got to say. And he'll talk about all his crazy stuff and what he liked about the past. Then our half hour is up and I'm done. I didn't have to hear him poo-pooing on my next level. The other thing too is you got to watch this. And this is one that I believe is one of the biggest lies we've ever been told. And it robs my confidence. Doesn't mean it robs yours. What I want out of this conversation is I hope you're realizing that You need to be the auditor of your time and decide, what actions do I take? What activities do I do that rob my confidence or build my confidence? I have to do, here's the brilliant Dean, I have to do less of the things that rob my confidence. I have to have barricades up, guardrails, and I need to find the things that build my confidence and do more of it. There are some friends you hang around, and when you're done, you're like, oh my God, that was an amazing lunch. I feel incredible. And there's other people, you get done with lunch, you're like, oh my God, that I feel horrible. Who in here literally has someone in their phone, and when your phone rings, I want to raise a hand. When your phone rings, you go like this. Oh shit. Oh, do I answer this? Oh, if I hit it to voicemail, they're going to know. And then you just turn the ringer down and you hold it in your hand, just waiting for it to stop ringing. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. Oh yeah. Oh, I'll call them back later. If you have that in your life, that person's got to go, or you have to reframe it in your mind and just set new parameters, because it's not doing anything. But if you remember, it's cumulative. If you start thinking through that lens, like, shit, I watched the news, I talked to my mom, and then this person called me, I'm only one little piece away from giving up on my dreams.
All right. So let's turn Pete's mic on too. Pete, give me some of your comments as to Dean, because I thought he was just so spectacular. And hopefully this is helpful for you to start to reframe your intention to have confidence a priority, the building of confidence a priority for 2021.
Yeah, man. I think confidence is everything, man. Without it, you just don't move forward. And with it, you will have as many customers as you want to have. And we allow other people to take our confidence, man. I sat in those sessions, Eric, at GoPro on the front row. You saw me. I was literally on the side listening to all 5 of you and thinking to myself, man, I'm going to gain more confidence in 2021. And so just to hear him talk about it, and to hear what you just had to say around it too, like as soon as you got it and gained it, what it did for you in your business, like without confidence, man, without these things that you're talking about today, Eric, all of the goals and all of the resolutions that they set for the new year, that people set, most of them are broken by January 15th or January 21st, because they're so focused on external things, and we got to be focusing on the internal things. And so it starts with confidence, man. And I just loved what they had to say about it, what Dean had to say about it, Eric.
So talk about the commitment that it's important that everybody watching this, it's one thing to watch and say, oh, it's nice, we watched this nice little webinar. And it's another thing to make a commitment.
Yeah. So my ask of them, Eric, is what are they committed to in the domain of confidence in 2021? What are you going to do to feed your confidence? Like, I have to feed my body physical food. I have to drink things. So what is it that you're going to do to feed your confidence? So I'll give you one example. And Eric, I'd love to know what this is for you. I have never really listened to affirmations. And I've had 2 or 3 friends that say, what is it that you want in 2021? Listen to affirmations every day, because now you're listening to your voice and not other people's voices every day, saying what it is that you're committed to. And so I'm committed to, how am I going to feed my confidence, Eric? I'm actually recording, and I know we'll be doing this next week in transformation starting in January, but I'm going to be recording some affirmations that feed my confidence every day. So what are they committed to, Eric, to feed their confidence? For me, it's listening to affirmations, because I want to hear my voice, because I'm sick and tired of hearing my voice tell me all the things I can't do, or I'm sick and tired of hearing other people tell me the things I can't do. I want to hear my voice every single day tell me the things that I can do. So that's what I'm committed to, Eric. How about you?
So whether it's affirmations or vision boards or surrounding yourself with people who are encouraging you and pushing you to do better, creating a positive environment, limiting negative inputs to your life, all of that is helpful. Let's bounce to the second area to focus on to have an outstanding 2021, and that is how to break through your fears. We all have fears. I tell leaders that we're in the fear management business. We're trying to minimize the fears for our people. And because if people are fearful, it's usually fight or flight. Sometimes they'll run away, sometimes they'll freeze, and sometimes they'll step forward and they'll fight. And what we want people to do is in the face of fear to fight, not to freeze and not to run, right? So for me, I'll give you a few, and we're going to hear from Trent Shelton talking about breaking through your fears in just a moment, but I'll give you what helped me. Okay, just my personal experience with it. One, I think there's 3 things that are required for a person to have success in network marketing. And if you're writing something down or putting something into the comments, put these 3 things down. Number 1, a person needs to be willing. You cannot force somebody to be successful. Number 2, they need to be coachable. You can't help somebody who won't listen. And number 3, they need to be hungry. They need to be hungry for more. And the first thing that helped me overcome my fear is I was hungry. If you're hungry enough, the hunger will actually outweigh the fear enough to take action. Okay? And the action will beat the fear down into a small little part of your life. So I'll give you an example. I was deathly afraid of calling people on the phone. This was before text messages when I first started in network marketing. So you know what I did? I made 100 phone calls in one day. And scared to death the whole time. But my hunger was enough to get me to do that thing. And when I made the 100 phone calls, by the time I made my 100th phone call, the fear was way, way down because I had beat it into submission. By the time I did the 100th, I was scared. By the time I did the 80th one, I'm just dialing, and like, hey, you going to do this or not? You going to go check it out or not? My attitude, my posture, everything changed. Like if you make 1 phone call a day for the next 100 days, that you'll be afraid every day for the next 100 days because you haven't built the muscle of fearlessness. But if you do 100 in a day, by the time you're done with the 100, you'll be like, yeah, this wasn't no big deal. So I started finding things that I was afraid of and attacking them. Another one was doing presentations. Learning how to do a presentation, getting in front of people, that was really scary. So you know what I did? I did 100 presentations. And I was willing to do them poorly. I was willing to do them unprepared. I was willing to just go through the motions of doing them. And I just decided, and another one was presentation. I remember this one specifically. I for whatever reason, the 100 number was stuck in my head. Anything I was afraid of, I was going to do 100 times. And I was not going to judge what I was doing until I did it 100 times. Okay. So to do presentations, I decided I'm doing 100 presentations face-to-face or, today over Zoom or Skype or whatever. I'm going to do 100 presentations and I don't even need to prepare for the first one because I'm going to learn as I go. And I'm just going to do them. I'm going to prepare as best I can, but by the time I'm done, I'm going to be great. So I was scared to death of presentations. I always wanted other people to do them. I wanted my upline to do them. I wanted the company to do them. I wanted the Zoom call to do them. And I just said, you know what? This scares me to death. I don't want to be scared. Let me just attack this fear. This is something I learned from Tony Robbins, is to just pick the fear, attack it, and beat it into submission. So I did 100 presentations. And by the time I was done with 100, and I literally counted them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I remember putting my level of fear. It was started at 100% with the first one. And then very quickly dropped down to like 80%. And then very quickly dropped down to like 60. And by the time I got to like 80 presentations, my fear level was like a 5. And my only fear kicked in if somebody was way more successful than me. Then I was a little intimidated, but my presentation I wasn't scared of. By the time I got through 100, I went, this is no big deal. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable. It's always like a 5, but it's not 100 anymore. It's done. So there's only a handful of things that you need to attack. If you're hungry enough and coachable enough and willing enough, and you're just willing to put the numbers in, it's not so scary anymore. Anything that you apply larger numbers to, you can quickly get past this fear. Like Tony Robbins refuses to allow a fear to exist in his body. So anytime he has one, he decides whatever that is, he's going to go do it 100 times. Says he's just not going to let that own him. So all the things that were owning me in my network marketing career, I turned it around and I owned them by taking the action, feeling the fear, doing it anyway, and putting that fear down into a smaller and smaller and smaller box. And I still have fears. They're different today. They're different than the average person in network marketing, but I still have fears, but they don't control me anymore. I still have concerns. They don't control me anymore. Things that used to knock me out. I mean, somebody rejected me or whatever. It used to like affect me for a month. And then it affected me for like a week. And then it affected me for like a day. And then it affected me for like 15 minutes. And now somebody gives me some rejection. I'm like, okay, they're not my tribe. No big deal. It doesn't affect me at all. Other than maybe I learn from it, but it doesn't change my emotional state. So, Dean, why don't you tell them about Trent? And let's let him, is it, I'm sorry, Pete.
All right. Hey, that's
Pete.
not the first time somebody's called me Dean. You know, that's not the
Yeah,
first
well,
time.
you know, you're both rock stars. Tell them about Trent, and then let's show him a little bit of information from Trent, because he can really
Eric,
help.
If you could read the comments, people are just blown away. Like now all of a sudden the things that used to be fearful for you, it's like they're just not, you're not afraid of them. And because
Nope.
you have this methodology to, like, this way of breaking through to them, when the new one comes, you're able to do it with the new one. And that's the thing. Too many people spend months, years, decades trapped. And so I'm excited because Trent Shelton is.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
You might have something. What's one fear that has had a hold on you for the last 5 years? Put it into the comments. What's one fear that's really had its grips on you for the last 5 years? List it in there. Rejection. It's going so fast. Cold calls. Success is a fear. Annoying people is a fear. Public speaking is a fear. Can I do it as a fear? So let's talk about annoying people. You know what I would do? You can get over that fear in one day. Go annoy 100 people. Really. Go over the top. Say, hey, guess what? Today's my over the top day. I'm going to tell you about this because I'm going to kick myself if I don't tell you about it, because 2021 is set up perfectly. So I'm going to tell you about it. And my goal is to, if I don't push hard enough that you don't get a little bit annoyed, my goal is to see what happens if you get annoyed, and if we can still have a conversation and talk about it. See what I mean? Whatever it happens to be for you, you can get that done. It might have had its hold on you for 5 years. You can get it done in a day, in a weekend. It can be over. And you don't have to have that cloud hanging over your head anymore. Just go do it. And if you're hungry enough, you will. If you're not hungry enough, you won't. So back to Trent.
Yeah. So, hey guys, Trent had a powerful segment at GoPro, and we could only have him focus on one of the 4 areas, but he's going to walk you through something at the end of this video that you're going to see. Actually participate in what he walks you through. Hear what he has to say, but participate in what he has us do at the end. So, Lexi,
before you go to Trent, one quick thing. I see people talking about, going live. It scares me. Going live online on social scares me. Do it 100 times. Do it once an hour until you've done it 100 times. And then tell me what it feels like once you've done it 100 times. I remember when I first started Network Marketing Pro, I was doing about 5 videos a week, and I had all day meetings, and I needed to make a video that day. So I set up my camera, and I was exhausted. I'd done 12 hours of meetings, and I just was not in the mood to do anything. And I walked in front of the camera, and I looked at the camera, and I said, I got nothing. I have nothing. I've got nothing in my mind. I got no wisdom to give to you. Have a great day, everybody. And I went around, turned the camera off, and I decided to post that video. And the caption on the video was, "Some days you just got nothing." And I literally brought zero value, but I made fun of myself in doing it. It was one of my most popular videos. Today, Eric had nothing. So whatever it is, try being silly, try being serious, try being funny, try being, knowledgeable. Doesn't matter. You can figure that out. All right, so let's go to Trent and have you hear from this amazing young man.
I talk fast. I'll try to slow down, but I'm super passionate right now. And I want to tell you that you have two choices when it comes to fear. You can let fear continue to paralyze you, or you can let fear propel you. You can let fear keep you in a place where you don't deserve to be at, or you can let fear take you to meet the greatest version of yourself. I want you to look at fear as your best friend. By the end of this segment, I hope that you learn to dance with your fear, embrace your fear, because this is truth. And think about this. I've met a lot of successful people that have fears. Everybody that touches this stage, they got fears. We're human beings. I met a lot of successful people that have fears, but I never met a successful person that didn't find the courage to face them. Because everything that you want for your life is on the other side of that fear. I promise you that. Everything that's meant for your life is on the other side of that fear. And I'm going to talk about 4 things right now that you can do, apply to your life. Because listen, it's not about being here and hearing this and clapping and yelling. That's great. What I care about is you taking action in your life, because application creates transformation. So get ready to take your notes. 4 things. Number 1, when it comes to fear and how to overcome fear and use fear and make fear be your best friend. The first thing I want to tell you is this. When the reward is strong enough, okay, when the reward is strong enough, your fears will never be great enough. I'm going to say that again. When the reward is strong enough, your fears will never be great enough. If you think about times in your life where you conquered your fear, it's because of this. Whatever it was for you, right? Whatever it was that you were trying to achieve, that you were trying to get, that you were trying to save, that you were trying to help, whatever it is in any aspect of your life, the reason that you were able to be fearless is because that thing on the other side of the fear required you to be fearless. See, a lot of us think that in order to get something, we have to, not have fears in our life. It's not true. You're going to have a lot of fears in your life. But this is the thing that I want to share with you right now. I'll use a perfect illustration. Y'all remember Harambe? Y'all remember that? The gorilla and the child fell in there? Raise your hand if you remember that. Y'all remember that? You remember in the zoo and all those things, okay? So I'm going to tell a quick story about myself. I don't like animals, right? I don't like wild animals at all. I love nature. I don't love the things in nature at all. But I'll tell you this. If my child fell into that, and I'm afraid of gorillas, by the way. Like, I know we have animal lovers out there, but that ain't me. If I see a gorilla, I'm about to get on my NFL game and run as fast as I can. That's just me. I probably shouldn't run because I think they tell you to stand still and don't move. I don't agree with that. I'm going to run. I'm going to try my best to get away. But I'll tell you this. If my child had fell into that pit, you better believe I'm going into that pit fearless. I don't care if it's a gorilla. I don't care if it's 10 silverbacks. I don't care what's in that pit because I love my child that much. With your life, think about this right now. Think about your greatest fear that's holding you back. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's asking. Maybe it's starting your dream. Maybe it's a physical fear. Okay, think about that. Now I want you to think about something or someone in your life that you love dearly. That if you lost that person, you would feel crushed. If you lost that person, you would feel like your life was just gone. Think about that person. Now I'm going to present the same scenario to you. If your biggest fear was in the way of that person, right? Maybe it's something about to attack that person. Maybe it's your child. Maybe it's your friend, somebody that you truly love. How many of you, by show of hands, raise your hand, will go attack that fear? Right? No question asked. No question asked at all. Because what's on the other side of the fear means that much to you. And I know this might seem very insensitive, but a lot of you are being paralyzed by fear because what's on the other side don't mean that much to you. No, I'm probably about to lose some people now, but I got to be honest with you. If fear stops you every single time, it's because you haven't created enough meaning on the other side of the fear. And this is what fear is. The definition of fear is simple. Fear is just a premeditated or predetermined result from a situation you haven't experienced yet. Some of us right now, we telling ourselves that we're going to fail before we ever even try to succeed. Some of us are telling ourselves that we're not going to win before we ever even try to win. Some of us are telling us, oh, this is not meant for our life, so why are you ever going to go for it? Stop telling yourself what it's going to be when you haven't even tried to experience it. It's like a boxer stepping into the ring saying, I'm going to lose this fight. He's not going to step into the ring because he already told himself that he was going to lose. So with this first little piece, you have to create enough meaning in what you do. Because I promise you, if you don't create enough meaning, fear will paralyze you, hard times will paralyze you, haters will paralyze you, judgment will paralyze you, rejection will paralyze you. All these things will prevent you from being the greatest you. But if you find meaning in what you do, can't no obstacle, can't no challenge, can't no setback hold your life back. And I'm sorry I'm getting passionate, but I don't care. This means a lot to me. Because there's a lot of you out there that people need you to show up. It ain't just about you. Just imagine if I would have never showed up after football and I would have said my life was over. I wouldn't be able, I don't say this to brag, but it's the truth. I wouldn't be able to touch millions of people across the world. And you better believe public speaking was a fear of mine. You probably can't tell right now, but I'm an introverted person. So stepping on stage, I'm like, no way, go get somebody else. I'm not doing it. But I created enough meaning to go serve. So if you want to learn how to be fearless even when facing your fears, change what awaits on the other side. Because remember, when the reward is great enough, the struggle will never be strong enough. If y'all got that, raise your hands for me. I would tell you to say straight up, but I can't hear y'all. There we go. And imagine your life, right? Imagine what your life would be in 6 months if you didn't do anything about your fears right now. Imagine what your life would be in 6 months if you didn't face your fears. Then ask yourself this question. Is this the life that you want for yourself? Is this the life that you deserve? And the truth about what you deserve exactly what you settle for. So I hope you never settle for less in your life. So many people are going to live in regret. And regret is the greatest poison to your soul because you can't do anything about regret. You can't change regret. We can't turn back the hands of time, but we for sure can do something right now about our life. I want you to feel your heartbeat right now as I say these words to you as I leave. There's millions of people that die with regret. Is that going to be you? Getting to your final days of life knowing you're about to die with your dreams because you never acted on making those dreams come true. Knowing that you're never going to meet the greatest you. Why? Well, because you wasted so much of your life not doing the things you were created to do. Please don't experience death knowing you settled for less. Please don't get to your final breaths of life knowing you didn't give your best. Because once this life is over, it's over. There's no do-overs. It's done. So you got to stop living life like you get another shot at this, because the truth is you only get one. There will come a day, I promise you, there will come a day when tomorrow doesn't come. So I'll leave you with this choice. You can face everything and rise, or you can fear everything and run. But like I always tell you, it all starts with you. Now go make the world respect your greatness. Straight up. I appreciate y'all. Let's get it.
Trent Shelton, everybody. Strong stuff. Pete, what are your thoughts?
Man, dude, like what's on the other side? Like Eric, I've met your kiddos, man. You would hop in there with the gorilla and you'd bring your kiddos out. Like I just know it. You'd bring your boys
For
out,
sure.
you'd bring Marina out. And because it's big enough, like it matters enough. And like to jump in and face our fears, man, in a way that you've talked about it, incredibly moving, inspiring. You saw people deep. And I know I chatted with Trent a couple of days ago. He is stoked because he's ready to go deeper on this issue and help people break their biggest fear. Like if we could just get the biggest fear that we face out of the way, I mean, a lot of doors would open up, Eric. So yeah, man, I'm curious what is the biggest fear that people are committed to overcoming in 2021? What is that? Type that in the chat, man. That's
What's the
what
biggest
I got.
fear
Yeah.
you're overcoming in 2021? What is it? What is it? What's the biggest fear? Put it into into the comments. Mediocrity, failing, live events, Instagram, sharing my gift, taking risks, rejection, to stay the same. That's a great fear. I'm glad you have that fear. Calling people, failing, going live. So that's great. Well, let's go. We've covered gaining confidence. We talked about breaking through fears. Let's talk about a third area that's really, really a big deal. I work with 6 and 7 figure earners around the world, and whether they're brand new or they're earning a huge amount of money, everybody, including myself, including Pete, operates with some form of limiting beliefs. We are all operating underneath our potential. And you know what we're really good at? We're really good at arguing for these limiting beliefs. No, you don't understand. I'm a single mom. And as a single mom, it's just harder for me. I'd be more successful if I had a better upline. I'd be more successful if I knew more people. I'd be more successful if I wasn't an introvert. I'd be more successful if I didn't have people with health challenges in my house. I'd be more successful if I didn't have my own health challenges. I'd be more successful if I didn't have to work 2 jobs, 80 hours a week. I'd be more successful if I was smarter. I'd be more successful if I was a better leader. What are the things that you'd be more successful if what? If what? What would cause you to be able to be more successful? What would help you become more successful? And in that answer is you will find your limiting beliefs. Some of you believe that you're not worthy, and that's manifesting in your life. Some of you believe that you're not capable, that you're not deserving. So every time you have a little bit of success, you feel like an imposter. So limiting beliefs, I had huge limiting beliefs starting in my network marketing career. And limiting beliefs take a long time to develop, and they also take a little bit of time or coaching to be able to wipe out. And if I could wave my magic wand, it would be to wipe out some of these limiting beliefs and to literally replace them. Take the coin and flip it over. And on the other side is an empowering belief. Replace that limiting belief with an empowering belief and do it in 30 days. Wouldn't that be something? To be able to take something that's been causing you to play small and boom, replace it. Like one limiting belief is I'm always late. I'm just always late for everything. That's just part of my life. I'm always late for everything. That could be your limiting belief. But what if you replaced it with a different belief that says I'm always early? And you respected everybody that you connected with instead of disrespecting them by being late. Tiny little thing, huge impact in your life. So many of you have much bigger limiting beliefs than that. But here's the objective. What limiting belief would you like to replace with an empowering belief? What would you like to do to get it done? that limiting belief that's been a ceiling on your growth for years, what if we could wipe it out and it was gone by the end of January? Gone. Didn't exist anymore. It's replaced with an empowering belief. What does that do to your 2021? Takes it to another level. So Lisa Nichols has become one of my favorite people. And she spoke at our event also. Pete, you want to set this up as we show people Lisa Nichols, because she's so good at helping people eliminate limiting beliefs that people need to hear from her.
Yeah, man, Lisa's fired up, guys. She what Eric just said, like, what would it mean to get rid of that limiting belief, that powerless belief, and replace it with an empowering, powerful belief? Lisa's all about that. She's dedicated her life to that. She was a single mom who had nothing and didn't have support or help or family or money, but she didn't allow that limiting belief to get in the way. And so she talked about it at GoPro. And so I want you guys to catch 5 minutes of what Lisa had to say. And don't leave us. We got one more person, which is Grant Cardone, here in just a little bit. So roll Lisa. Let's roll Lisa.
When you look at how do you build a millionaire mindset, $1 million mindset? How do you build a 1 million person impact mindset? How do you build that mindset? There are a few things. We talk about limiting beliefs. All these things are about mindset. Your belief system. Your belief system is everything. There are going to be people who are going to challenge. There are going to be situations that's going to challenge your plan. Write this down. Keep your goal in mold, but keep your plan in sand. Keep your goal in mold. You know how you want to be remembered. You know the story you want told about you. You know what you want written on your tombstone. If I could write a whole paragraph of who you were, here lies a woman who, here lies a man who, what did you do? But more importantly, what did you inspire those who are watching you to do? Keep that goal in mold, but keep everything else, keep the plan in sand. You might have to change directions. You might have to change strategies. Heck, you might even have to change partners. I don't know, but be so sold out on the goal that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. I'm just saying, keep your goal in mold, but keep your plan in sand. Be willing to be agile. Stay parked between fluid and flexible. Here's fluid, here's flexible, here's us right here. And if there ever was a lesson, it's this year. And the second thing is hold on tight to your vision. Hold on tight. When you get a vision, hold on tight. And when you hold on tight, share it. Don't keep your vision to yourself like a secret. It's a good secret. No, from the secret lady, secret teacher, don't keep your vision a secret. Share it, wear it, speak it, eat it, walk it, talk it. When sweat oozes from your body, it should be your vision. Hello, somebody. Be everything. And here's the thing I'm going to leave you with around vision. If the people around you don't get your vision, April, it's because, Leanne, God, this is my faith, God didn't give your vision to them. God gave your vision to you, Vanessa. God didn't give your vision to the people around you. So don't determine your commitment to your vision based on how many people agree with your vision. It's your job to birth it. You are impregnated with something big. Come on, y'all. I see your hands up. You're impregnated with something big. If you needed to hear that, type it in chat. I needed to hear that. I'm waiting for my family to become my customer. I'm waiting for my family to become my downline. I'm waiting for my family to become my trainers. I'm waiting for my family. Hold on. They already got one job. Be in your family. Let them be that. And go. Make sure that if no one else gets your vision, it's because God didn't give your vision to them. God gave your vision to you. Walk with it, talk with it, speak with it, eat with it, drink with it, wear it, share it, sweat it until it becomes contagious. Don't wait for other people to catch on, for you to catch on fire. Catch on fire and burn them up with your energy. I promise you. I'm just telling you what I had to do. And I didn't turn on fire. I didn't become on fire to convince them and to light them up. I got on fire because that's what my vision made me do. And then you want to move every other option off the table. You want to become non-negotiable in 2021. Non-negotiable. Move every other option off the table. Because if you got here with commitment, and if you got here with dedication, and if you got here with tenacity, what does your non-negotiable look like? Oh, you ain't even seen the results of your non-negotiable. And sometimes you're going to fall. Newsflash, you're going to fall. Because if you're not playing big enough, the bigger you play, the bigger your breakdowns. All my breakdowns now are 6 or 7 figures, and they require an attorney. The bigger you play, the bigger your breakdowns. But what you got to remember is never, ever quit. Never, ever quit. Never, ever quit. Take quitting off the table. Don't have a plan B. Burn the ships, because we're not coming back. And when you do that, you send a message to the universe. You send a message to the mountain. Mountain, move over, or mountain, bow down, but I'll go through you. Have that sense of certainty.
So what is your non-negotiable? What is your non-negotiable? What is a limiting belief that you are going to replace in this year? Who are you going to surround yourself with that is going to help you do that? Identify it. Because usually the limiting belief that you give is not the one that's holding you back. It's usually beyond what you're thinking about in your mind. It's a little deeper. It's a little older. It's a little bit more primal. Sometimes a coach can help you do that. So we're not going to leave you with just these assignments. We're going to give you a method for you to be able to totally use all this stuff and make 2021 amazing. But before we do that, I want to, Pete, you could set up the fourth one on taking massive action. Actually, let me give you a couple comments first, and then I'll go to you, Pete. The first comment is this: I've learned through experience that success loves speed. I learned it early in my career. We started with how to recruit 20 people in 30 days. It's so much more effective than recruiting 20 in a long period of time. If you're going to recruit, do it now. If you're going to figure out how to do presentations, do 100 of them. Success loves speed. We talk about the 90-day game plan. You can change your life in 90 days. All out massive action makes up for all different kinds of problems. Speed is critical. Velocity, momentum, acceleration. All of these things are absolutely vital if you want to make your life what it needs to be. We built our studio, Marina built the studio in less than 90 days. Shouldn't have been done. Should have taken a year. But why do we do it? Because success loves speed. Let's get it going. So speed needs to be, and massive action needs to be, a centerpiece of your 2021 plan. The plan for you to make this your best year has got to be around speed. We can't wait, for February, March, April, May, June before we're going to get going. We got to go now. We're going to get these limiting beliefs done now. We're going to get the fears done now. We're going to build the confidence now. Let's get it done now. How valuable is it to get it done now? Take the month of January, for example. If you can get that stuff done and get into massive action fast, is that going to be better than waiting till the end of the year to get it done? Of course. Massive action's everything. So Pete, why don't you talk about that, and then we can bring in Grant.
Yeah, man. So, you got confidence, you're getting rid of a fear. You've replaced a belief with a limiting belief with an empowering belief. And now it's time for speed. Now it's time for massive action. And I don't know if there's anything I've seen greater this year than what Eric and actually what Marina pulled off in building that studio, man. Like, I was there, and Eric keeps saying 90 days, and Marina's like, no, it's 7 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. It wasn't even 90 days. Like, the two of them, that was speed. And don't get me wrong, like, there was a lot of pressure, a lot at stake, a lot of expenses, a lot of mindset stuff going on in them, but speed just kept to build, and massive action happened, and they created a miracle. You want to create miracles? They don't become miracles. They're not miracles for them anymore, because they just know, like, they're just expected. I know what their next miracle is and their next one. And I think one of the greatest people who does this, Eric, is Grant Cardone. The guy just takes action. Actions. You will hear him say actions. Somebody in his book said, man, how many times did you use the word action in the 10X book? Watch what Grant says in this interview on what you need to do and how many times he actually said that word in his book.
Action has been the thing, the doingness, even when I didn't know how to do something, even when I didn't have confidence. There's certain levels of actions. Once you start applying them, you will learn and you will have confidence, and you will start bringing into you a sense of, okay, I know what I'm doing. You might have heard me say this before. Frequency is more important than quality. Quantity of actions is more important than the quality of the action. And whether it's marketing or real estate or sales, the number of times I do something, not the work I apply, the number of actions I take, because I know a lot of people that go to work and never take any action. And the only way to gather momentum, the only way to own confidence for yourself, your self-confidence, the only way to get that, you can't read it, you can't listen to it. The only way to get it is to take action. Actions, okay? If you read the book, The 10X Rule, the book in the 10X Rule, a guy wrote me one day and said, dude, how many times did you use the word action in that book? And I'm like, I don't think I ever used the word action in the book. This is really important if you're taking notes. I never used the word action without saying actions. No one action by itself is going to get you what you want. And even if the first time you do something, you go recruit somebody, the first person you recruit says, yeah, let's go, I'm in, okay? Well, if you've been around long enough, you probably know that's not a great indicator. If it was that easy, it probably ain't gonna stick. Yeah, I can't wait to do this. If your first recruit comes on and makes you worth $100 million, which, by the way, I hope that happens for you. I pray that happens for you. But if that happens for you, you still will not know how to build a business. You will be dependent upon that one action. And there your business breaks down, because no business is based on one action. You have to scale the actions. How many actions can I take? In the beginning, if you're just getting started, tomorrow is going to be Monday, and you're going to go out there, and some part of the world, you might already be Monday where you are, right? So you're going to go out there, you're going to take one action. The guy says yes to you, and you're like, you get $1, or you get $10, you get $100, or you get $1 million. The problem is one action doesn't build confidence. You still don't know what you're doing. I mean, once you do it maybe 10,000 times, then you should start measuring. This is what I tell my marketing team. I'm like, you guys are measuring metrics when we push a piece of marketing material out. And they're like, we're studying open rates. I said, you only sent out 80 pieces. Okay, that 80 pieces cannot give us a real look. It can give us an idea. But show me 80,000 pieces or 8 million pieces, then we should start evaluating. So whether you're doing marketing or recruiting or sales or phone calls or meetings, no one meeting is going to be good enough to change your life, your family's life, or the lives of the people you love. I would rather do 10,000 bad meetings than one special meeting. And so that's why in the 10X rule, I talk about taking massive actions, okay? In my life, if you get, Eric spent some time with me, and Eric will tell you, I'm the same guy all the time. I'm the same guy everywhere I go. You're not going to meet a new Grant. And that could be good or bad, right? It could be bad for me because I'm not developing maybe, but I'm always working on how can I take more action in new arenas. Today, we have a bunch of different businesses, from e-commerce to calling companies over the phone, to writing books, to education, to real estate, to our newest company, Cardone Ventures, where we're actually funding companies, startups, and companies that in their beginning stages so that we can grow those companies to 10 or 100 or 1,000 times what they are today. All those require me to learn, continue to learn, and you guys are all doing that today. So congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You're here, you're learning, you're committed on a Sunday when most people aren't. But what you do tomorrow and the next day, and Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, okay, what you do every day, the amount of actions you take by itself will determine how far you go. I'm sure you know somebody in network marketing that's been very, very successful, and then they laid down. They could have built an empire and they settled for a castle. Okay, good. Maybe you know a company that's done that, company that was growing and doing extremely well. Maybe you have a neighbor, a friend, somebody that was doing extremely well, and then they settled. They quit taking actions, consistent actions. So in the book, The 10X Rule, I write that there's 4 levels of action. Maybe you could write down which one you're taking right now. Some of you might know what those 4 levels are. In the book, the first level of action is no action at all. Try to do that right now. Try to take no action. If I rewrote that book today, I would actually get rid of the first level of action because it's impossible for me to take no action. It's impossible for me not to work out without, see, I can't not work out, right? I either retreat from the workout or I go work out. You can't not work out. So number 1, no action. Number 2 is you retreat from the action, which is what most people call not doing anything. So when you leave here today, and when you leave inspired, excited, you're like, dude, I'm gonna go grab this. I'm telling you right now, guys, if you guys want to take away one thing today, take away this massive action idea thing, and understand each day what you're doing. Are you doing no action or do you retreat? How many of you know someone that was going to come to this weekend and might have even paid for it and then didn't show up? They retreated from the activity. You started a diet, you retreated. You wanted to go work out, but you retreated. You wanted to make the phone call, but you retreated. You wanted to have a meeting, but you decided to pull back and not do it. You can actually not do number 1 is my point. Number 2, you retreat and go backwards. If I was with you live right now, I'd have everybody stand up and walk backwards and show you how clumsy you are retreating, how terrible it, how awkward, how awful it is to back up. In the military, they actually don't let military people, military bases are built in squares and everything is a right turn. They actually don't let people back up the vehicles. Everything's going forward. The third level of action is normal levels. Normal levels. It's what most of your peers do. It's what most of the people in this room are doing. Come to an event, you leave, you take normal actions for a day or 2, and then you start retreating on day 3 or 4. And then by day 5, you're doing nothing. Eric doesn't want you guys to do that. You know, the worries, they're here for you to make sure you go pro. And the go pros take massive action, which is level 4.
So here's the thing. We've heard from some pretty powerful people, right? As far as how to really take control of your life. The emotional part, these are decisions. These are not skills, really. They're decisions. You may call them skill, but gaining confidence, breaking through your fears, eliminating limited beliefs, and taking massive action. But what I'd like you to do is, before I bring Pete, he's got something to share with you that I think you're just going to find spectacular. So hang in there. Estimate, if let's say you could take these 4 areas of your life, and by the end of January, you had total control of all 4. How much more money would you make in 2021? Estimate how much more money would you make in 2021 if you mastered these 4 areas of your life over the next 4 or 5 weeks. How much more money? Put a dollar figure on it. How much more would you make? What would it be worth? Big numbers, right? Big numbers. Put a number, every single one of you. All of you sitting here watching it, every single one of you, put a number in. How much more would you make if you could get these things behind you once and for all? All right, all good numbers. And I will tell you, most of you are underestimating. Even the big number of people are underestimating. Because once I got this stuff figured out, Marina got this stuff figured out, Pete got this stuff figured out, everything changed in our lives. So Pete, why don't you tell them how we can help them, everybody watching, to totally radically turn these numbers into reality.
Yeah, Eric, you know what I love about what you and Marina have done is I see the way that Marina dreams, man. And she doesn't just dream for like you guys, she dreams for the profession and the industry, and she dreams big. And Eric, it's something I do too. And the reason why you wanted to host this today, which I love, is so many people have all of these goals in the external. And we ask ourselves, why do like 90 or 95% of people's New Year's resolutions get broken by January 15th? Think about that for a second. January 15th, 2 weeks and 1 day from today, most people have given up on their New Year's resolutions. Why? Because they focused on the wrong thing. They focused on the money and the house and the financial freedom, but they didn't focus on what is that fear that's holding me back? What is that limiting belief that's got in the way for decades? Why can't I know how to feed my confidence? Why is it that I only take action every now and then? If they would just begin to focus on these things, if you will begin to focus on these things, those numbers you're talking about, guys, they're small. You're underestimating what this will do. Eric and Marina didn't underestimate what they could do in 7 to 9 weeks. I haven't underestimated that this last quarter was one of the biggest quarters of my life. Why? Because of the breakthrough up here. And so, Eric, I'm excited because I know there's a few of them that slipped in to watch this training. So any of our accelerators out there, our GoPro accelerators said, I'm committed to the Worries and to being with GoPro for this entire year and you coaching me through the entire year. And an incredible program. But one of the things that any of you that were at GoPro Virtual, if you were at GoPro Virtual, put it in the comments. The majority of you here were at GoPro Virtual, or you weren't, and you're not in one of the accelerators. But thousands of people, Eric said, but at least let me get the opportunity to be a part of January's transformation. Like if you guys got a little glimpse of what Dean and Lisa and Eric and Grant and Trent did today, imagine an hour at GoPro, but let's take a step deeper, Eric. Let's imagine an entire month.
I'm excited about this month because in a month of total immersion with all these people helping and myself, we can help do that. And we didn't offer this at GoPro by itself.
Nope.
We offered the year-long program, but there's so many people that say, hey, maybe that was a little bit too much for me. But if I get this done, it's going to open up all these other doors. So we decided just recently to offer up just January for people who are ready to have a total transformation.
100%. And guys, what I would want you to know, and Eric, you can see my screen okay, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What I'd want you to know is what Eric means by too much is like the people who are invested for the entire year, their business is going to be transformed because we're not just doing January with them. We're doing the entire year with them. Eric and Marina and the team are doing the entire year. But what if you could break through these 4 things and you just focused on January confirmation? That's what Eric is calling it. That's what Marina's calling it. And here's the crazy thing. It's not 1 hour with each of those 4. It's 1 week that each of these 4 take in the month of January. And Eric is a part of every single week. And so not only do you get in week 1, it's focused on confidence and Dean Graziosi and Eric Worre, but Dean will make sure that you actually have the tools. He will be going deep with you and making sure you have the tools that will feed your confidence every day. And guess what? There's several different tools that exist. You've got to pick the right tool. The right tool for Marina, the right tool for Eric, and the right tool for Pete might all look different. But if you are not feeding your confidence, you're starving it. And just like you have to feed your body, you have to feed your confidence. And by the time week 1 is done, which yes, it starts on Monday.
Yeah, we start on Monday, number 1, and Dean's going to be going for 90 minutes training. I'm also going to going for 90 minutes on how to specifically to develop confidence in network marketing. So, Dean's going to talk about it generally. I'm going to talk about it very specifically. So you're going to have assignments. You're going to have about 3 hours worth of content in week 1. This starts Monday. It starts in just a few days. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And so incredible. Like you got Eric, you've got Dean, and you've got homework assignments all week long centered around confidence. In week 2, you've got Trent Shelton and you've got Eric, and it's all around overcoming fears. And not only has Trent said, Pete, they're going to be able to identify their top fears that are holding them back. We will break through their top fear in week 2. Like you will break through your top fear in week 2. And in week 3, I know how excited we all are for Lisa. And Lisa is going to be with us in week 3. Eric's going to be with us in week 3. And Lisa is committed to you identifying the biggest limiting belief that you have and turning that into what she calls a limitless, what Eric called today, an empowering belief. You're going to transfer something that's holding you back and keeping you captive to something that's going to actually have you become powerful. And then in the final week, in week 4, Eric and Grant Cardone will be going and laying out the blueprint of how you leave January transformation and you actually start taking massive actions. We should have put actions there, but massive action, which is defined as actions in February and beyond. As you get through this month, Eric, it's an incredible month. It's not just week 1 focused on confidence, week 2 focused on overcoming fear, week 3 focused on eliminating beliefs.
Take a screenshot of this, folks. Just take a screenshot or take a photo with your camera of this slide. So you got it.
Yeah. And then a week 4, taking massive action. And then the whole GoPro transformational finale with Eric. What happens in between these trainings is the homework, the assignments, and the breakthrough that will help make your year so much more powerful. A lot of people will spend decades or years trying to break through these 4 areas. You're going to spend the month of January. And so don't worry. It is 2 p.m. Eastern every single time of those trainings, but everything's recorded. Down there, you see that we asterisk that. And so if you're like, man, I wanted to be in that accelerator program, but it was a stretch for me this year. Like it was really, I couldn't make it happen. Well, then you're getting the opportunity to be a part of this GoPro transformation. And so, Eric, what I would want people to know is that to be able to be mentored by these instructors, overcoming those 4 things, it would be $4,000 of value. And why would you say $4,000 of value? Because of the fact that we hope that Eric, and we believe Eric and Marina will be doing a transformation 2-day event in 2022. And $4,000 would be the minimum of what would be charged for that. But you guys get an entire month with them. And Eric, the last thing I'll say before I bring you back on is I did the math of these 5 people, including you, Eric, of what a keynote fee would cost to bring them in for 90 minutes. I know it, you know it. And if this is for all of our international folks, it would be double this, by the way. But if you wanted to be mentored and instructed by these 5 folks, their actual keynote would be over $300,000 to bring them in. And Eric, I'm stoked because we're allowing people to be a part of GoPro transformation for a one pay, meaning the entire month of January, for $897, or 2 payments of $497. And all they have to do is go to GoProaccelerator.com/transformation, GoProAccelerator.com/transformation to take action. Guys, if somebody would type that in the chat. And I just got the word from the big boss man, Eric. That's not you, that's Marina. Anybody that's taking action today on this training, we're actually going to get you all 4 of their talks from GoPro to help get you ready for Transformation January.
Oh, wow.
We're going to get you access to all 4 of their full talks. Today, they just got a clip of it, Eric. But if they go to GoProAccelerator.com/transformation, there's the option for a 1 payment or a 2 payment plan to be a part of January transformation that we know will transform their lives, Eric. So,
And then here's the thing: you put in the number. What would it be worth? I saw a bunch of people say, "Yep, I'm in." Then I saw some people say, "No, I'm not going to pay for this." And it's the same person that said, "I'd make $250,000 if I got past these things." But then they're like, "No, I don't want to pay 497 or whatever, 2 payments of that in order to be able to do it." I'll just tell you. I mean, can you put up the slide again that shows the dates and times? Times of the training: 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern each time. But you're going to get recordings of each of the trainings, and you'll own those recordings for forever. So here's the schedule. Starts, Monday and Friday, starting next week. That's the schedule for the month, right? Everything's going to be recorded. You'll own it for forever. So don't worry about time of day. It will be better if you could be on live. And then the pricing slide, can you put that up, please?
Yes, sir.
GoPro transformation. You can have a 1 pay of $897 or 2 payments of $497. So still under $1,000. And let us help you get past this stuff. Let us help you be unstoppable in your confidence and break through your fears and eliminate the limiting beliefs and create an action plan that's unstoppable. And yes, you get the recordings of everything. It'll be at 90 minutes per training, 90 minutes from myself, 90 minutes from each of the guest trainers over the course of this month. So about 3 hours a week. This is available for you and your team, but it starts Monday. Everybody's got to figure out a way to take action. And if you have to stretch, I mean, you know what I did when I needed to change my life? I went to mom and dad. I swallowed my pride and said, "Can I borrow your credit card? Because this is going to change my life. I believe that if I get these things done, then it's going to change everything. Would you believe in me and invest in me? And I'll pay you back from my gain of what I'm going to do over the course of the year." So this is either a natural fit or it's not. If you're hungry enough, you'll find a way. And if you're not hungry enough, then you'll find a reason not to. And I say that with compassion because I've been in your shoes. I get it. But you can also make it happen. GoProAccelerator.com/transformation will help you do it. And you know what I'm excited about? And Dean, I know you're excited about it too.
Dean.
Pete. Dean, why do I keep saying Dean? It's just the E. Pete. Throw Pete back up on the screen so I can see him. Weird. Sorry, man. It's not like it's a slam,
Hey, I'll take it.
to get compared. But I'm excited about Monday. I'm excited about this group coming together, locking arms and saying, "Come on, let's go." I'm excited about people being liberated from the shackles that they put on themselves or allowed other people to put on them. And they leave the month of January free. That's what excites me. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Eric, and maybe we can be co-shared up there, but together. But what I'm excited about is I heard your heart in these 4 buckets, in these 4 areas. And a lot of people will kind of gradually work on them. And you're like, no, we're going to take massive action to work on all of them in a short period of time. And what does that look like? It's going to be an uncomfortable month for people because they're going to break through a fear that's been holding them back, many people, for their whole life. They're going to break through a limiting belief and replace it with a powerful belief. They're actually going to understand what it takes to feed their confidence every single day and what's unique for them as an individual, not for me, what for you. But Eric, these four things will be game changer for them. Absolutely game changer for them. And I'm really, really excited about that. And guys, what I want to say to you guys is you guys are in a profession that if you are uncomfortable having, like, why does this exist? This is not the GoPro accelerator. The GoPro accelerator, this is one piece of about 10 pieces that the GoPro accelerators are getting. Like, they have like 10 things. This is one piece of what they've committed to. But we believe it's such a big piece that Eric wanted to make it a standalone opportunity for those people who did not have the revenues or the money to be able to invest into the accelerator program. And Eric, what I would say to those people, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to identify a limiting belief today for a lot of people. If you are one of the ones that responds like, oh, they're making an offer, they're presenting something, you also are having a hard time in your network marketing company making offers as well. And there is something limiting in your mind getting in the way of you serving your people, because if you receive it that way, you also are going to have a difficult time presenting it that way. You might want to start there with your limiting belief today, because here's what Zig Ziglar said. Zig Ziglar said, I've never changed someone's life in an hour training, but if they go deeper with me past that hour training, I got a shot at changing their lives. And so today, Eric, for 60 minutes, gave you the best of the best to give you a training that's going to set you up for 2021 powerfully. And if you have no resources and no money, that makes sense. You've got the empowerment to then go make your own GoPro, your own transformational month in January. Like I think Eric would say, go do it yourself in January then. Like, make it a focus month in January. But for the rest of you, it's like Tony says, Eric, let's shorten years or decades and let's go have a massive transformation in 30 days around four things, Eric, that hold all of us back or have held all of us back as human beings. And that's what I'm excited about, Eric, is that opportunity. And so this does run till Sunday night at midnight, Pacific Standard Time. This does go away, because that's not some false scarcity, because it starts on Monday. It starts right. Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And so it does go away on Sunday night. And like I said, for all of you that take action while we're on this training, you will also get access to all four of the people's transformational talks at GoPro Virtual, which could be some preparatory materials for them each week, Eric, is to watch that GoPro talk, which will then get them ready for a freaking breakthrough week in their lives, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope you take advantage of it. What I love is I love growth and contribution. But what I've also learned is you have to have some skin in the game. If you want to change your life, you got to have some skin in the game. It's got to, you in order to treat it seriously. So that's what this is all about. And you already listed what this is going to be worth to you if you can blow away these limiting beliefs. It's a huge number. So it's not about the return on the ability to do this. It's just about the decision. So Pete, were you going to do some more Q&A, or is that what you were thinking about doing?
Yeah, we got a few Q&As, Eric. We could take them for.
Would you mind? I'm doing some year-end estate planning stuff, and I
got it. As long as Lexi doesn't cut me off here, I don't think I don't know.
Everybody, yeah. I'll look forward to seeing you on Monday. If you have questions, email VIP@networkmarketingpro.com. If you have questions, VIP@networkmarketingpro.com. Email them. They'll help you with your questions, help you guide you through. If you need to figure out some fancy way to do it because you're in a country or your payments needs to be wired, or you need to send crypto, or whatever it is that you're doing in order to do it, we have a team to help you do that. Email VIP@networkmarketingpro.com. Pete will help with some additional questions. Pete, thank you so much for helping to organize this. And I got to go meet with the banker. But everybody, I can't wait to see you on Monday. We're going to start the transformation, and it's going to happen for you. So I'm proud of you in advance. It's going to be amazing. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Mwah.
Thanks, Eric. Hey guys, I'll take questions for about 15 minutes. In the Q&A box, if you guys actually can vote up the questions that matter most to you, there's questions in there right now. And all you have to do is push the thumbs up button and it upvotes the questions. So I'm going to do a few questions for about 15 minutes around questions that you guys might have. They're your questions, not my questions. And so we will, if you want to vote them up, or if you don't see your question asked, ask a question and see, there we go. We got lots of people voting them up. So I'll take questions for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then we will let you guys go and enjoy your new year. Susie says, will this recording be shared so I can share it with my team? And 49 of you asked that. The answer is absolutely yes. However, because it's it's a product, like a lot of the trainings that you saw today were it's the product of GoPro. It will only be up till Sunday night at midnight. So the training will be emailed out to you. If you registered for today, you will get the training emailed out to you. You can watch it. You can forward it to your team, but just know it comes down on Sunday, because then the transformation starts on Monday. So the recording will either be, I think it'll be emailed out later tonight, if not first thing in the morning. So make sure that, you know, the emails that are coming from Eric are in your inbox, and you will get the recordings. Share it with your team. And to take it one step further, get in a group of your team, like get 5, 6, 7, 8 people in your team to sign up, because then each week you can have your own accountability groups through January transformation. Sarah asked the same question. Will we have access to the recordings? Yes, until Monday or Sunday night, until Sunday night. Yeah, those were the top 3 questions. So yes, you guys will have access to the recordings. How do you overcome fear of success? It's a great question, JB. There is something in your past that's having you identify success as being a bad thing. You're either afraid of success, or somebody in your life has told you success is a bad thing. I grew up in a culture of people that said success is a bad thing. I grew up in the church, and my faith is very important to me, that made success feel like a bad thing. So there was this fear of success because of it being a bad thing and it changing me as a person. And that was the fear that I had to overcome. And so how do you begin to reposition that? I can just tell you is how I repositioned it was simply by recognizing that no, Pete did not have to change. Pete did not have to be different. Pete could actually be a bigger contributor in this world the more successful that he became. Now, here's the trick. As Pete became more successful, he aligned and was congruent with that. He actually did contribute to the world on a bigger scale. He did contribute to the world on a bigger scale. And so you've got to go back and identify some stuff. But you do, you know, about fear of overcoming success, JB, and a lot of you do. But here's what I want you to know. Like in week 2, I was just jotting this down. You're not only going to be clear on what are the top fears that are prohibiting you in week 2 with Trent and Eric, but the intention of that week, the homework assignment of that week, is to help you break through your number one thing, your number one fear that week. That's the homework assignment. Imagine that. Like each one of these weeks to me are worth $1,000 in themselves. Minimum. So any of these weeks that give you breakthrough, your investment is paid over and over. That's a great question, JB. Thank you for that question. And 23 of you that asked that. Natalie and 28 of you, these are your questions. Ask, when is this second installment due? Listen, it is a payment plan. The request is that both payments are paid, and I believe it's 30 days from today. So it's towards the end of transformation, that the second payment is paid. And Rachel, if that's wrong, you can text me right now, but I'm pretty confident that's how it was set up. It was 30 days. Pretty confident of that, guys. But that was Natalie's question. Done. I'm going to answer the questions that are getting voted up. Emily Sullivan also asked that question. So Emily, hopefully you and the 9 people who asked that question is complete. Sherry Lacey says, is the training you are offering for January the same training people in the accelerator program? Yes. Accelerators, you are part of this. You have a private community, accelerators. This is the same GoPro transformational month that you guys get to experience. You have a private community, and obviously this is only 1/10 of, I'm just like what you get. There's other components that you obviously, a whole year long program. And I'm actually seeing several people saying, yeah, I would be very interested in the accelerator program. Then what I would tell you is Eric said the email VIP@networkmarketingpro.com, VIP@networkmarketingpro.com. If you were like, yes, I want this, but I'm pretty confident that I want the accelerator program as well, put accelerator program in the subject line so that his team can get back to you. But all of you accelerators who you snuck in today because you already get this as part of your program, there's just added perks and added bonuses and a lot of different things that you get in addition. So great questions, Sherry and 23 other accelerators. Denise says, finding balance between working at home and caring for a chronically ill spouse. Any recommendations? Denise, if you heard my story at GoPro, my wife went through a severe several years of lupus, lost her kidney, went to dialysis 25 hours a week, 3 kids. And what I can tell you is I had to be so committed to the fact that what could it create in my wife's life if I could be a successful entrepreneur? And so instead of compromising her health, I just found the times early in the morning and late at night that I dedicated to my business. That was a decade ago. But that's also how I got started in my business 20 years ago. I was a full-time youth pastor and I had to get up earlier and I had to stay up a little bit later. And so there's just times you got to find that time and space, and you have to be focused. And you know what gets in the way of focus? The 4 things that we're talking about here. Thank you for that question, Denise, and 16 other people who asked that question. Nancy said, we paid for the mini accelerator. What's the difference, Nancy? You are locked in for this. You're completely locked in for this. The email was intended to give people the opportunity who have done nothing to be a part of January's transformation, but they're only a part of January's transformation. Nancy, you're also getting presentation power in February as well. Yeah, can you make a suggestion for limiting belief that I think people are not interested in my information or life or for going live? I'm not going to tackle both of those. I'm just going to tackle one of the challenges that you guys will get to go through this month is you're probably going to be put in some uncomfortable situations to do some things that you wouldn't normally do on your own to break through the barriers of fear and limiting belief. So don't be surprised if you actually go live. But can you make a suggestion for limiting beliefs that I think people are not interested in my information? Yeah, that's an easy one. First, we got to break through that. And we can't break through that today. That's what week 3 is all about with Lisa. But I can tell you what an empowering, when I find my right tribe, they fall in love with the information that I present to them, or my company, or my products, whatever you want to say, information, company, or products. When I find my right tribe, they fall in love with what I present to them. I hope that you can see the difference versus people aren't interested in my products and services. Now, that belief is stopping you and prohibiting you from going to the next level, where the one that I just gave you, now when people say no to you and you can actually instill that belief in your mind, you don't think about them as, oh, they're all of them. No, they're just not the right tribe. I'm telling you, if you got that second belief ingrained in your mind to overcome that limiting belief, lights out, game over. Just that one belief for many of you. How do you do that? Well, we'll dive deep into week 3. We'll dive deep into week 3. Guys, I do want to remind you that one of the things that you want to take advantage of before the training's done, and I'm just going through your questions. I'm going to go through a few more, but the fast acting bonus is actually getting the recordings of all 4 of those speakers' talks from GoPro, all 4 of their talks from GoPro. Those of you that take action fast will be getting that as a fast acting bonus. I actually had to text Marina to make sure that was okay. I hope that helps you, Carmela, and 14 other people who asked around that specific thing. What is the best way to peak interest online? David, I'm not going to tackle that today because that's tactics and strategies. And that's not what today we're focused on today. So I'm just not going to tackle that because that's not the focus of today. How much did the full year cost? Amy, the GoPro accelerator was $10,700 and some change. And then for those that chose to do it in a one pay, it was $8,700, I believe. And like I said, that's not what today is about either. But if that's of interest to Amy or 8 other people who raised their hands, just email VIP@networkmarketingpro.com. And then you're not just getting January, you're getting an entire year, 4 workshops and a whole lot of other goodness included as well. And just put the word accelerator in the subject line. Thank y'all for that question. I'm probably not going to answer anonymous people. I don't like anonymous. I like people who like really step up. Anonymous is just there's something in that. How do we find balance with work and home life and investing in business and investing in struggle? I struggle with multitasking. Will this change the bad habits when life happens? Oftentimes I take action and then retreat. Angela, what I'm going to tell you in those 3 sentences that you gave, there's a handful of limiting beliefs or fears that exist just in those 3 sentences. And I don't have the space to be able to tackle all of that. There is multiple things, and I'm so grateful for you putting that out there, but there are multiple things in that question that are literally holding you back, that aren't just holding you back, that are holding several people back. That's not uncommon. But I'll tackle the last question. How oftentimes I take action and then retreat. Once again, take multiple actions. Take an action every day for 5 days and watch what begins to happen. Grant said a lot of people take an action and then it's like, what happens? And nothing happens. How can I change the limiting belief you mentioned? It's a big one for me. I already tackled that, Adi. So we did tackle that one already. How do you become more sociable as an introvert? Probably another time we'll tackle that, Pastor. Can you use social media to find prospects? Not the theme of today. So guys, I'm not going to tackle things that aren't around today. Can you make a suggestion for limiting belief that I think people are not interested in my information for? Oh, we already tackled that one, guys. I'm going to tackle a few more questions and then I'm going to end today's training. I stayed at home mama and have been in business 1 year and I haven't been successful. In my husband's eyes, my vision is still big and the mindset work I've done has helped, but in financial investments, I'm frozen because I'm not in control of our family's finances. How do you overcome this? Man, Brittany, that's an incredible question. My question is that there's a lot of people who have a big vision, but I would want to ask you, what's the massive action that you've taken? Because vision is important, but the problem with the secret, and Lisa Nichols would tell you this, is you cannot just have the vision that you want to have. You have to take massive action. And to me, Brittany, a lot of people who aren't succeeding, but yet I've worked on my mind, I've worked on my finances, I've got vision. The massive gap that a lot of them that I come across is that they aren't taking massive action. They aren't taking massive action. If you guys would have known what I've done in the last 12 hours, especially in the last 3 hours, you'd be like, whoa, like that might take me a week or 2 to do. It's called massive action. I can't wait for week 4, massive action, guys. So thank you for that question, Brittany. Tools to manage your time. Not really super relevant, guys. There's plenty of them. I just Google that. Google that. You can find something great on that. How can I address clutter and lack of organization? It's not about clutter and a lack of organization. There's some limiting belief or fear or confidence issue in that, Barbara. People can continue to say clutter, lack of organization. Clutter's easy. Just throw everything out, get everything out, get a notebook and start taking action. Like, once again, these are the things that you have to break through. Like, I don't want you guys on January 15th to be like so shot because, just because because you're going for the extrinsic goals, but not focused on these things. It is going to be available on podcast. I don't know what you're talking about, Danita. Last maybe few. Can you do smaller lives to get more confidence? Absolutely. Tony, smaller live, 5-minute live definitely gets more opportunity. Stephanie says, do you know if will be an option to upgrade into the accelerator program after January? Yes, after January, I believe it's after January is when the accelerator program will close. And those of you that are like, man, I want to keep going, you will actually be able to use your transformation credit as a credit towards the accelerator program. So Stephanie and 7 other people asked that. So after transformation at the beginning of February, you'll have one last kind of opportunity to upgrade to the entire program. But we wanted to give you an incredible experience in January. Eric did. Really want to know if the training you're offered for January is the same training. Sherry, I've already answered that, like the yes, ma'am. But what the accelerator folks have is many more things and many more perks, including the entire year, but even perks within the private community that exists for the accelerators. So did answer that already. There, Kimberly, the times are 2 p.m. Eastern mostly on Mondays and Fridays, and then all of the homework in between those days. So, and the assignments that are in between those days, all of it's recorded. Most times it's going to be 90 minutes, very transformational 90 minutes. Yep. 2 p.m. That's correct, guys. When we receive for the program, as soon as you register, you will be receiving the details of the program and all of the details of the calendar and schedule and all of that. Thank you, Marisa, for asking that question. Will we have access to the recordings? Yeah, if you purchase, you don't just have access to the recordings, you have lifetime access to the recordings. Lifetime access to the recordings. No, Jim, they're closer to 90 minutes long. Peggy, thank you for putting the website, goproaccelerator.com/transformation, goproaccelerator.com/transformation. And guys, I think that's going to be the last question that I answer. A few of you are like, hey, can you give me more details about it? You probably got here a little bit late. And if you got here a little bit late, no worries. You just go to goproaccelerator.com/transformation. You get the opportunity to be a part of January's GoPro transformation, a 1 payment option, 2 payment options that exist. It's transformation that's taking place in the month of January. It's going to be a phenomenal month. And guys, I thank y'all for being here. Make sure we'll at the top of the hour today, here in about 10 minutes, for those of you that end up taking action, we'll make sure that you also get the fast acting bonus of all of Dean, Lisa, Grant, and Trent's main talks from GoPro Virtual. Make sure you share the recording with your team. Make sure that you set yourselves up to make 2021 an incredible year. And guys, I am excited that for all of you, that as you focus on feeding your confidence, you focus on overcoming that number one fear. You focus on eliminating that limiting belief and replacing it with an empowering belief. And then you actually understand how to take massive action without being overwhelmed. As you focus on those things in the month of January and you double down on those, watch what will begin to happen in all areas of your life. Super grateful for you guys. I hope you have an incredible happy new year. Let me be the first to wish you happy new year. GoProAccelerator.com/transformation. GoProAccelerator.com/transformation. We'll get the replay out relatively soon. It will only be available till Sunday night. And then this offer also goes away on Sunday night. So take action. Make sure you get your fast acting bonus. And Eric and the whole team will see you guys on Monday for all of you that are joining up in the GoPro transformation. For all of our accelerators out there, I know that the Warriors are extremely excited about the year with you guys this year as well. And things kick off on January 4th. See you guys soon.